An old man gets an invitation to a wedding. The letter warns him that if he goes and he isn't ready, it could kill him. He decides to go anyway. This is the story of the 7 days that followed. It's the evening before Easter. The man's name is Christian Rosenkreutz, and he's old enough to have stopped expecting anything. Then the door opens on a woman with wings, robed in blue and gold, and she hands him a letter and says nothing he can answer. The letter invites him to a royal wedding at a far castle. It also tells him to weigh himself honestly first. If his faults are too heavy, the letter says, he should stay home. Many who go will not come back. That night he dreams he's chained in a dark pit with a crowd of strangers. A rope comes down from a hole of light above them. 7 times it drops, and each time the crowd fights over it instead of climbing. He catches it near the end and is hauled up, gashed on the head, his legs torn by the chains. He wakes up certain the dream was a yes. He sets out in white linen with red roses in his hat. The forest gives him a tablet describing 4 roads to the castle. The first is short but dangerous, all rocks. The second is long and winding, but safe as long as he never strays from his compass. The third is a joyful royal road, but barely 1 traveler in 1,000 is granted it. The fourth is a consuming road that only an incorruptible body can survive. He can't decide. Then a raven chases a dove off his bread. He runs after the raven without thinking and finds he stumbled onto one of the roads. A headwind won't let him turn back. The choice that drowns most of the guests, he makes by accident. He reaches the gate at the last possible second. A fire flares on the wall, the signal that the doors are closing. He gets through as they slam, and the gate clips his coat as it shuts. The guests still on the road are locked out for good. Inside, he surrenders small tokens at 3 gates and joins the other guests. Most of them are loud. They trade stories about the secrets they've mastered and the kings they've advised. Rosenkreutz keeps to a corner and says little. He's fairly sure he doesn't belong here at all. In the morning, a golden scale is brought out, and 7 weights with it. One by one, the guests are made to stand on the scale and be weighed against the weights. It isn't measuring their bodies. The loud ones turn out to be light. They float up, found wanting, and the guards close in. The ones who fail are mocked, stripped of their borrowed robes, and turned out. At the door, each is handed a drink that erases the memory of ever having come. They leave remembering nothing. It's the gentlest thing done to them all day. Then Rosenkreutz steps on, expecting the worst. The 7 weights swing up off the ground. 3 men hang on the beam to drag him down, and still he outweighs them. They give him the golden fleece with a flying lion to wear, and as a victor's right, he frees one of the captive emperors, the one he'd pitied. The man who was sure he didn't belong is the one who passes. On the 4th day, the guests are brought before the king and queen, who are young and beautiful and clearly in love. There's a play performed in 7 acts about a lost princess who is captured, abandoned, and at last brought home and married. Everyone applauds. There's a feast. The mood is warm. Then the room is hung in black. A tall man in a black robe is brought in. One after another, the 6 royal figures kneel, and he takes their heads, the young king and queen among them. The blood is caught in golden cloths. When he's finished, the executioner is beheaded too, and his head sealed in a chest. The guests are sick with grief. They think they've watched a murder and that they're next. But the woman guiding them tells them, quietly, that the dead aren't as dead as they look. The coffins are closed. Something is going to be done with what's inside them. That night, Rosenkreutz looks out his window and sees the sea below the castle. 7 ships are crossing it in the dark, each one carrying a single flame. The coffins are being taken somewhere across the water. In the morning, he wanders off alone and finds a stair going down. At the bottom is a sealed vault, and inside it, a goddess asleep on a bed, lit a strange underwater color. He knows immediately he isn't supposed to be there. He looks anyway. It's the moment everything later turns on. Later, the whole company boards the ships, the coffins with them, and they cross the same dark water he watched the night before. There's music over the sea. Ahead of them, on an island, a tall, round tower waits. It's called the Tower of Olympus, and the work happens there. The tower has 7 floors, and they climb it like workers, not guests. This is the part the wedding was really about. The bodies in the coffins are going to be brought back, and it's going to take real labor, grinding, boiling, distilling, carrying things up ladders while an old man directs the whole operation. They use the collected blood to feed a giant egg. A bird hatches from it, black at first, then bright, then white. They feed it, and then they kill it and burn it and keep the ash. None of this is gentle. The story keeps insisting that making something live again means taking other things apart first. From the ash, they shape 2 tiny human figures, a boy and a girl, and grow them larger by feeding them. Clay figures with no life in them yet. At the last step, a light comes down through the open top of the tower, and the 2 small bodies take a breath. The king and queen who were beheaded are alive again and young. On the last day, the restored couple holds court, and the guests who made it through are made Knights of the Golden Stone. They sign their names in a book and swear an oath to credit none of it to themselves and to use what they learned only for good. Rosenkreutz signs his Knight of the Golden Stone. Then his trespass in the vault catches up with him. Because he confessed to uncovering the sleeping goddess, the king names him the castle's new gatekeeper, the post once held by another man punished long ago for the same curiosity. He's to stand at the door he once barely made it through, until the day the king's son marries. The strangest part of the story is the ending, which isn't really one. He passes, he survives the work, he's made a knight, and then the manuscript just stops. A note says a couple of pages are missing, and that the author, supposing he'd have to take up the door the next morning, went home instead. The reward for passing every test is a threshold, and a story that won't tell you what he did with it.